And now to our special where Nokia, the Finnish handset maker, is making India re-entry. The HMD Global, the company that has rights to manufacture and sell smartphones of Nokia brand in India, has officially launched today Nokia 6, Nokia 5 and Nokia 3 Android smartphones. While the Nokia 5 and Nokia 3 will be available on offline stores, the Nokia 6 will be available exclusively on Amazon. Now, to recall, the Nokia 6, 5 and 3 Android smartphones were introduced at Mobile World Congress 2017 in Barcelona in Feb this year. Notably, these are the first Nokia smartphones to hit the Indian market after the Lumia series shut down when Microsoft took over Nokia's mobile business. Now, to talk more on this subject, we are joined by our in-house tech expert, Ankit Tuteja. Well, Ankit was there at the launch today. Ankit, how promising do you see is Nokia going to be for the Indian market?
Sumit, finally, I'm really happy that the wait is over. I mean, a lot of us were waiting for Android-based Nokia phones. I mean, a lot of us waited all these years for Nokia to come up with Android-based phones. And finally, the wait is over. The phones are out there in the market for the Indian consumers as well. And I was there at the event and I took my hands on all the devices, including the Nokia 3, 5 and 6. And honestly, I'm pretty impressed by the design of the phone. Well, I'm yet to use and abuse the phone for a longer period, but for a little time that I had with the phone, I was pretty impressed with the phone. And especially when you look at the price, the phones are really competitively priced. The Nokia 3 is priced at rupees 9499, Nokia 5 at 12899 and Nokia 6 at 14999, my bad. So the phones are really competitively priced, and given the space, given the crowded space that we get to see in the Indian smartphone market, Nokia branded Android phones has an edge right now over other rivals, be it Xiaomi, be it Moto, because they are really value for money at this moment.
And Ankit, you were there. Do you think it has something which is really cutting edge technology for Nokia? What is there so special about these phones?
Okay, so talking about, as I mentioned, like India is a price-sensitive market, and first thing that you have to keep in mind is the sensitivity factor of the Indian consumers, and that is the box that Nokia has already checked, HMD Global has already checked. They have priced the devices really competitively, and that is something that one checkbox has been ticked. So this means that people would like to get their hands on the devices. They would like to go to the stores because price is attractive. Coming to the features of the phone. The display is really nice. So Nokia 3 and Nokia 5 come with the HD display, that is 720p, while the Nokia 6 comes with the full HD display, 1080p display at rupees 14,999. So having a display at such a price in itself is quite surprising. I mean, you don't see a lot of devices coming with a full HD display at such a price point. So I'm talking about the software. So it's pure Android. You don't get to see a lot of bloatware on the device. It runs Android 7.1 OS, which is the newest in the range, which you get to see on a lot of flagship devices. So talking about the features, talking about the display, talking about the storage space on the phone, talking about the dual SIM compatibility, on all the fronts, Nokia basically with these devices, Nokia is offering, HMD Global is offering a mix of hardware, a good hardware, exciting price, as well as excellent software.
And also we are hearing that these Nokia smartphones will now be made in India too.
Absolutely. The company announced, HMD Global, it was their first event in India today, and they announced that all the phones that are going to be there, they're going to be made in India. So, which is a good deal, which means, so basically when you import phones, prices go up because there are import duties and other taxes that go into determining the price of the handset. So it's good for Indian consumers. If the devices are made in India, prices will be, I mean, intact.
And do you think they stand a chance when it comes to competing with the likes of iPhones in Indian market or maybe Samsung smartphones?
So it's too early to say how they will compete with Samsung and Apple, because these are the devices that are priced between 9,500 and 15K. These are mid-range and low-cost devices. These are budget devices. When we say Samsung and Apple, Nokia-based, Android-based high-end Nokia phones have to come out. Only then we can make a fair comparison how they are going to pit against or how they are going to stack up against Samsung's flagship and Apple's iPhones.
And Ankit, I saw you using 3310 the other day, the nostalgic factor which Nokia wants to bring in with 3310. Yeah. How did you like the phone? Do you think it has some chance of bringing back that memory of Nokia back to Indian market?
So Sumit, I was just thinking about it. A lot of companies come into the Indian market, be it Xiaomi, OnePlus. They took their own time to build their brand value. But Nokia had disappeared suddenly. There was a time when Nokia was at its peak, and suddenly there was a downfall, and it suddenly disappeared. It was making phones in partnership with Microsoft. Those phones really didn't work really well. There was barely any market share out there in the market for them. But when HMD Global decided to make Nokia branded phones and entered the Indian market, there was only one thing they were banking on, that was nostalgia, as you just mentioned. This nostalgia factor is what is going to work in their favor, in favor of HMD Global. Talking about Nokia 3310, the device doesn't really come with a lot of exciting features. It comes in new colors, there is a colored display, new snakes with new graphics. So all these, if you look at it from the utility point of view, from the practical aspect of the usage, there is barely anything in the Nokia 3310, but still people are excited about the device. People would like to have one of the Nokia 3310 in different colors. So this is purely nostalgia. Coming to smartphones, yes, again, Nokia will not have to, HMD Global will not have to spend time in building the brand again in India, because people are anyway excited Nokia is coming. A lot of people may not even know what is HMD Global. They just know that Nokia phones are coming to the Indian market. And this is what is going to work in favor of HMD Global. So it's purely on the basis of this re-entry into the Indian market is purely on the basis of the nostalgia factor.
And what about the battery backup? Because one of the things that we really care for before buying a phone is the battery backup. So what kind of battery backup does it have?
So what happens when you talk about a smartphone, a lot of claims are made on paper that it comes with this much of mAh battery, 4000 mAh, 3000 mAh. But the number alone doesn't really signify for how long it will last, because it has to be an optimum mix of hardware and software. It has to be properly optimized. You can see two smartphones with 4000 mAh battery and one may last longer because software is optimized for that particular hardware in a proper manner. So talking about the Nokia devices 3, 5 and 6 for that matter, we are yet to get our hands on. There is only one test, the daily usage. Once the devices come, we put them to test in different environments, different conditions. We put them to video test, we put them to basic test, like the way we use our smartphones. So it's too early to say how they are going to survive the battery test, for how long they will actually survive. Will they last for a day on a single charge, or will they last for 2 days on a single charge? It also depends on everyone's usage as well. So it's something that we would like to comment on once maybe we have the devices and we put them to fair use.
And Ankit, one of the reasons for success is the distribution network. Not only sales, but after sales and servicing also. There Nokia lacks because they have been out of Indian market since long time, and Apple and Samsung, they have made good inroads into India. So where do they stand as far as after sales is concerned and also distribution is concerned?
So talking about the past behavior, there was a time when Nokia was really focusing, and they had dedicated service centers. They had dedicated network for after-sales services. And I have visited a lot of Nokia centers in the past, and I'd always been satisfied with the experience because they would really value their customers. And today at the presentation, at the conference, at the event, the executives are making the same statement, because they're going to invest purely in a network of after-sales services as well. They're going to set up hundreds of service centers for people to have a clean, pure experience. I mean, a fair experience. So if something goes wrong with the device, they don't want consumers to actually get baffled and get confused and to do back and forth to the service center. So the company is really making investment into the distribution network, and also they are going to come up with services like pick and drop for your devices. So if something goes wrong with the device, so instead of going to the service center, you can just call and someone can come and pick your device. So these kind of behavior, these kind of benefits, these kind of services are also going to come into the future.
And given a chance, given some money, would you go to buy Nokia phone? And give us 2 honest reasons why will you go and buy Nokia phones?
Yeah, so you are the second person after the event who asked me this question, because I was on my way back to office and one of my friends called me, would you buy this phone? I said I have used it for a little period, for a brief period, and I'm really impressed by the design language of the phone, by the display for that matter, because those were the things that I could actually get my hands on for the little time that I had the phones with me. So yes, I would definitely go with the phone. You asked me 2 reasons. One is the design. I think performance comes later. When you see a device, if the device design is not impressive, you might not go ahead to check the specifications or performance. So design is the first thing, at least for me. If the phone looks good, I would go ahead. How's the camera? How's the performance? So it takes the design language for me. This is one of the reasons. Second is price. As I said, I look for something that is value for money. I'm not one of those who would just spend money like this. Oh, it's 50K. Okay, I just like it. I want my device to be value for money. And I see this coming in Android-based Nokia phones from HMD Global. So basically, value for money and the design so far are the reasons for me that I would like to go for Nokia phones. I just wish once I use the phones, they turn out to be really great in terms of performance and battery life. So let's see how they actually prove to be.
And give us in comparison like how Nokia 3, 5 and 6, how are they stand and pitted against iPhones, which model, iPhone 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or Samsung S1, S2, S3, how are they all stacked up against each other?
So talking about iPhones, every year Apple launches a new iPhone and it's their flagship phone because these are the only phones that they have. iPhone, Apple doesn't have a portfolio of phones. It just has one phone every year, and so it's a flagship phone every year for it. Talking about Samsung S1, S2, S3 and S5, these are flagship phones in the Samsung portfolio. So I would say I would not really pit them against S1, S2 or S3. I would rather say, for example, Nokia 3, Nokia 5 and Nokia 6. I would say Nokia 3 is going to compete with Xiaomi Redmi Note 4, Lenovo's K6 Power, which are priced in the same price bracket. Talking about the Nokia 6, which is the top of the line in the portfolio, I think it's going to compete with the Moto G5 Plus. And it has a fair chance, both the devices, in fact all the three devices have a fair chance to have an edge over all the rivals.
All right, here we asked all the questions to Ankit Tuteja and we got answers for most of them. With this, it's time to wrap this edition of WION Wallet. For more news and updates, stay tuned to WION and thanks for watching us.